now we're ready to start the reading. Let's go. If you guys are cross-watching or not the sign of Aquarius, then just know it's fine. That, you know, these energies that I bring in while I'm shuffling are that of Aquarians. However, right, none of us is exactly one thing, and you may have Aquarius in your chart. You may be trying to understand that energy better, or you may have seen the video and just gotten curious just because of the oracle that showed up, which could apply to anyone, right, at any given time. This doesn't have to be seen just in July, right? It's just easier to organize it that way on the channel. But, you know, energy is just always flowing and ever moving. So what we have here for you guys is the volcano energy, that of volatility. This signifies sudden changes, shakeups, eruptions, sometimes unexpected and dramatic changes, and sometimes of your own doing, right? Changes that you are applying and just saying, okay, that's enough. Time to shift directions, right? Things might get shaken up in your life, or they might have already, or they, may in the future. And if so, then this guidance will apply. You know, what you formerly thought of as the foundations of your security may be changing. They may be shifting. You might want to reassess your life direction, your relationships, the work you've chosen, whatever it is that you're feeling, that you're experiencing as movement and shifting, that this reading is going to be for you. Okay. So the starting point here for you, where in relationship to this volatility, is the card of understanding. So the doves are flying. They are this one dove here on this side of these bars is feeling very separate from the others. But what you notice is that if you look closer, the bars are actually an illusion and they're fading away. So staying open, instead of a constricted sort of protected space, which as humans, if you've been hurt, the first thing you're going to do is protect your heart, right? Well, or if you maybe know somebody that just opposes you in general, that just seems like they're not living the way they need to, or they're not living the way you would choose to live. I don't know if it's your children or, other family members, or even just, a group of people maybe that you don't even like in the political arena, the us versus them, that whole scene, right? There is very, very little separating us. And it's really kind of an illusion that there is separation. So when others show behaviors or attitudes or perceptions that are different from what you would choose, that's just showing you another side of it. And sort of, sometimes it feels like the dark side, and sometimes it's just giving you awareness that your way is for you, and that might be right, but that's not the only way. And it's okay, right? In the case of such a volatile change that may be occurring, or that you might want to exact upon your life, just know, there's no real separation between you and other. Okay? Within you, internally, you might be feeling like, where do I begin? Right? Where if this change is happening and everything's stripped down and we have destruction all around and we're back to square one, you might be feeling a little shaky. However, that element of that notion that we have everything under control, and when this shakeup happens, we're out of control. That whole sense of thinking we have control is actually an illusion, right? We're always kind of starting over. Every day we wake up, we're getting a new, fresh chance to make new decisions and start along the path in a new direction. You always have that choice. And when life sort of suddenly shifts and changes, and there's destruction and a, maybe loss of connections or loss of a loved one or loss of a pet or whatever, those sudden changes and stripping it down to the raw, space that we all are underneath, those are happening for us. That's almost a gift for us to learn to step down a new direction and rebuild, go down a new road. So this is an internal position. So it might feel that within you, your spirit feels a little uncertain. What do I do next? Right? Whether or not this big shift has happened, when that what do I do next energy comes, you can sort of, oh yeah, look at that. You can learn to try to go with the flow and not overthink, over battle. This is a mind card. It's a cloud card that rules the mind. So I like this. So I'm going to say for some of you, big changes have happened or they're about to happen, either by your own doing or just by timing of life. And you are left with this internal feeling of, I don't know what to do next. What I want you to do is resist the urge to overthink, right? Resist the urge to let those contradicting thoughts and ideas and worries cloud your head, right? Get yourself to a centered space, knowing that wherever I stand in this life, first of all, I'm never alone. And I can proceed from this centered, sort of grounded space and stay open and connected to, receptive to what is coming next, what my next choices are, right? If a sudden change happens and this volcano erupts and you're sitting among the rubble, the thing to do is not to cower down and, just crouch down under the boulders. And it's also the thing to do is not to bust through and try to fight your way through and break through. The thing to do is to rest in knowing that the next thing will come along. The next signal from the universe, from spirit, will come to you. And if you stay open, I'm willing to receive, the next guidance from God, from my angels, from my guides, whatever the label is that you put upon spirit or source. I'm willing to receive the next possibility and then, allow it to come. The destruction happens, when fires happen and the landscape burns down. It's time for renewal. It's time for renewal, right? Careful of patterns in your life. So this card signifies how to move forward from the rubble. And this is warning you to not repeat those patterns that don't serve you any longer. If they are habits and patterns that have always, helped, then absolutely. But just be aware of patterns that hold you stagnant, that keep you from progressing, right? Maybe it's, I'm looking for a new work. I'm changing jobs. This is the volatility we're talking of. I'm quitting my job. I'm getting a new job, but you go into the same job, basically the same situation you had before that was frustrating you to the point of needing to erupt and move on from it, right? Don't go back into the same field or, with the same type of manager, someone who's overbearing or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Careful of the patterns and be aware of them and be willing to try new things like this Fool card represents. Be willing to start fresh in a totally new direction. Okay? Oh yeah, look at that. Trust in life. Just trust. because life is coming for you. Things are coming at you in order for you to determine, what you will engage with and what you will leave behind. It's all a choice. And if you trust that, first of all, trust your decision-making power, right? And how to respond to things, especially if you've had a big volcano, a big eruption, and there's rubble all around you. Trust that you can, sort of dust off your knees and pick it up and find the new road. You can trust that. Stay aware internally of your need to, of those internal wishes that things need to turn out a certain way or you won't be happy, right? This no thingness card guides you not to attach to anything, right? And that's kind of this same Fool energy. Just start fresh. I don't know what's coming up. I have no idea. This guy's like, hey, I don't know if I take my next step, if I'm going to go tumbling down the cliff. But guess what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to trust it. I'm going to trust life, just like this figure flying through the air. Who knows what's coming next? She's flying in the blue sky and the pink one's down below her, but she's going to go experience it because she trusts it. She's going to soar. These energies internally are signifying that there may be a little bit of shakiness within you, especially if after a big change and a big shift in your life, of course, you're going to feel a little uncertain. But the practice is to trust, know you're not alone, take a chance to break patterns. That's the practice, to, stay open. This state of being, of, being able to accept whatever comes. That's a very enlightened state to be in. And this is what you're working toward, right? No one says that we have to master it in the first moment. But when you have those feelings within, recognize them and, sort of nurture them. Those feelings of uncertainty, of what do I do next? I don't know. I'm a little frightened. I'm a little unsure. That's okay. Recognize that, nurture that, give yourself love as far as knowing, you'll recognize the next step when it comes. Okay. These two cards are also both major arcana. So that means that internally you've got some powerful shifts happening within your spirit. Those are, it's great because you're getting ready to strip it down, or you have already had to strip it down out of maybe no choice of your own, or you're ready to make changes on your own. But these changes are starting within, right? And then in your external world, make sure you stay focused on every moment, present in this moment, and then this moment, right? Very present. Like these acrobats are flying through the air. If one of them misses or thinks about, what time do I have to pick up, my daughter today? They're all going to go flying down. You stay focused in this very moment. Stay in the zone in your daily life. Okay. Especially if there's rubble all around you. Stay alert, stay aware, and be ready for that next sign of what to do, how to proceed. Okay. In your outcome position here, I have two cards. Okay. So they're both mind cards. I love this. So we want you to shed those needs for comparison. So this journey that you're on, maybe you've come upon sudden change and shifting. This is unique to you, right? There is no one right answer. Nobody's going to have the right answer except for you, right? And that comes from within. That comes from establishing that sense of trust in source, in spirit. And so just like these trees, the oak and the bamboo, they're both trees, but no, they would never assume to need to be like the other, right? They stand on their own with their own strengths and their own power. And that's you right now, Aquarius. You have your own way of moving through this destruction or this change. All of it will result in the highest level of awareness. Look at that. Your intuition's going to guide you. You're reaching toward a new level of awareness, a higher consciousness constantly, right? Closer and closer to the enlightenment that the Buddha signifies. This is wonderful. Whether or not you have had big changes happen, maybe in your recent past, or changes that you are going to impose in your life, this reading is just a good practice for any kind of a shift. You know, whether it's really dramatic, like the volcano erupting, and or whether it's just a small shift, right? Maybe within a relationship, you want to find a new way to respond when you're frustrated or whatever. This is all, you know, this guidance is kind of universal for anything that needs to shift and move and change.